What's going on, y'all, and happy Monday. I hope everybody had a fantastic weekend, and along with that, I hope everybody is happy and healthy today. So let's go ahead and jump all over these topics. And the first thing I want to start talking about is this situation with Bishop T.D. Jakes, who announced several hours ago that he was taking a step back and his daughter Sarah and her husband Taye were going to take over the church. Now, I've seen a lot of people all over social media point to the fact that they find it mighty suspicious that T.D. Jakes is deciding to take this step back right before Diddy's trial is set to start within the next week or so. Now, in my estimation, the timing of this all could just be coincidental, right? The man did suffer a health scare not too long ago, and maybe he's just trying to prioritize his health at this particular point in time. But anyway, what I want to do right here is read you guys what he had to say on Instagram. So it says here, today we shared with the world our long-held plans of purposeful evolution for the Potter's House and our global church family. Preparing for this announcement over the past several years has allowed us as a family and a global church family to carefully balance the needs of our community worldwide and the pace at which we performed each step of our plan. When members of our family moved from LA to Dallas, it was to be more active in the evolution of this growing ministry. In 2022, a handshake between generations took place as we said farewell to woman, thou art loosed, and hello to woman evolve. And when we installed our two new assistant pastors in 2023, we continue to forge ahead in the vision we set long ago. Today marks the continuation of our willingness to evolve as a church and step into broader roles to make certain we continue to meet the needs of this sensitive moment in our collective history. As we look across our great nation and survey the unyielding economic, societal, and spiritual needs visiting our communities, it's clear that we can't afford to squander the potential of youth or the elders who have paved the way. The hardships of first-time home ownership, the dire need to invest in the growing entrepreneurial landscape, and a younger generation needing a home for their faith walk in the midst of increasing skepticism. These issues we face are not a tale of despair, they are clarion call for change. And together we will tackle these challenges and the need for this change in each of our unique ways. As Pastors Taye and Sarah take another step up to further accept the mantle of daily ministry duties at the Potter's House of Dallas, ushering in a new movement and calling the work of T.D. Jakes Group to bolster job creation and 21st century workforce readiness, invested in the infrastructure of communities nationwide, lifting communities up from the margins to the center, and working alongside like-minded partners to create thriving neighborhoods will be able to accelerate rapidly. Together, we shall unite for the betterment of this generation and the ones that follow. Alright, so it just seems as though that T.D. Jakes is passing the torch. Although I don't think that he's completely done. I'm pretty sure that we will see him time to time in the pulpit, preaching and things like that. I am also pretty sure that he will be going around the world and speaking at certain conferences and things of that nature. But I would be remiss if I didn't ask you guys if y'all felt like this was suspicious given the fact that Diddy's trial is a week or so away. So drop down in the comments and give me your thoughts on that. Now, I want to move along and I want to talk about this interesting interview that Terrence Howard did with Bill Maher. And he was talking about exposing Hollywood and things of that nature. And he brought up the artist Petey Pablo, all right, North Carolina's own, shout out to Petey Pablo, and the fact that he did a song back in 2010 or 11 called Oh It's On. And in that particular song that he did, it was featuring Young Buck, and he started talking about things that transpired in Hollywood as it pertains to GAY things and things like that, but he never called no names. But Terrence claims that ever since that he put that song out, that Petey Pablo was blackballed from music. I want you guys to check out this clip and I'll be back.
My friend said to me, rappers, they're all so tough until you hear their real name.
Yeah, well, until you see them at a puffy party.
Oh.
Then they're not tough no more. I'm surprised that the rap game is still alive because the masculinity that the rappers are supposed to portray.
What is it, what is it with all the man-on-man action that I'm learning about? I mean, like with the puffy parties, like the last thing I ever thought that went on there was gay stuff. Not that gay stuff was wrong, it's wonderful. I just did not think that's what Puffy was doing.
Yeah, well, I didn't think it either. And even when my assistant said that stuff, I still was like joking it off. And it wasn't until later on that I heard other things from people that worked from him. You know, you remember that back in the times of they had a thing called breaking the buck, where they would take not to go in a bad place, but this is
Yeah.
how I see
Yeah.
what's happening, the parallels with what's happening correlates what's happening in the business. If they back in the times, if they had like some 12-year-old that was just full of himself and confident and wasn't listening, they would tie him to a log or a barrel, and a bunch of the overseers would rape him, to where when he walked around with the slaves now, he didn't have the confidence.
Sure.
He was broken, and it was called breaking the buck.
Wow.
And that's still taking place. And so to hear that people in the industry are still making young rappers who have fought the worst of circumstances, being disenfranchised, being discounted, and then they finally like, I'm gonna put it into the music. I'm gonna do it in the music. I'm gonna, and get myself together. And they go and see someone, and they tell them, okay, yeah, you can have a deal. Perform on me, and you get your deal. That was what I heard while I was on Empire about some of the people in the business. And Petey Pablo, you remember Petey Pablo?
I know who that is.
Petey Pablo, talented writer, singer. Him and Young Buck wrote a song called Her+. And in that song, back in about 2011 or 29 or something, because he called out all of the taking place at those parties and those people, he was kicked out of the music business. No radio station would play his stuff. So you look for Petey Pablo, he's not around anymore. But that song, Oh It's On, they did not care. They went all in on it.
All right, so you guys just heard all of that, and I don't care what they say about Terrence Howard. I believe this man is brilliant, right? Now, I don't particularly care too much for him going on the Bill Maher show, but hey, it is what it is, right? But at the end of the day, I believe that this brother knows a lot. There's a lot in the industry that he said that he's going to expose. Now, although he didn't name any names here, he talked about Petey Pablo doing that song with Young Buck back in 2011, and it's called Oh It's On. Oh It's On. If you guys want to go here on YouTube and check out that video and just listen to the lyrics of it, you'll definitely hear Petey and Young Buck talking about some things that they may have saw, some things that they may have heard and became privy to. Now, a lot of people are making jokes that the song didn't age well for Young Buck, given the fact that he was caught in a hotel room, allegedly, I believe, or is it facts? Drop down in the comments and let me know, because I can't remember if it was proven to be factual, but he was caught in that hotel room with a Trans Am, and I'm saying that respectfully. But at the end of the day, if you go and check out the video here on YouTube, you can see people in the comments saying I'm here because Terrence Howard sent me here. So if you feel the need, go ahead and check it out and let me know what you think about it, all right? But I truly believe that there are going to be a lot of stories that come out during Diddy's trial, especially if it's an inclination that he's going to be sentenced. I believe that there's going to be people within the Hollywood realm that will come forward and give their accounts and stories about things that transpired while they dealt with Diddy or was at a party and things of that nature. And I believe it's going to be a few people that we're going to be shocked that had these encounters with Diddy and things of that nature. But anyway, let's move along. And I want to talk about Lil Kim, because Lil Kim has a boyfriend who is 20-something years old, and he's crashing out on social media because Lil Kim is holding his music back because she's angry at the fact that he went out and had a baby on her, right? And so what I want to do right now is I'm going to leave this up to Chrissy to talk about this, and then I'll come back and give you guys my 2 cents.
Lil Kim is shaking and all her tea is being spilled. So Lil Kim's young boo / artist / YN is now coming in spilling all of her tea. His name is Taye Brown, and he's been rapping under Lil Kim's label for about a year and a half now. Well, he's coming out and saying that Lil Kim has now canceled his contract, unbeknownst to him, all because he had a baby. There's a lot to the story, even a video. Let's talk about it. This is Lil Kim's boyfriend / her artist, Taye Brown. He is 25 years old to where Lil Kim is in her 50s. Now, Kim looks amazing. I love Lil Kim. I don't want to disrespect a legend, but it's a trend going on right now. It's not just the Shannon Sharps dating the 19-year-olds or the Diddy's getting Cassie fresh out of college. It's now the grown women that are dating these YNs. You got Drea, you got Anthony Edwards, baby mamas, and the girlfriend that he claims. Everybody's in his 30s and he's like 23. So the older ladies are out here snatching up these young guys, and the younger guys are out here taking these older women serious. Well, it looks as though he was not as serious as he played it to Kim, because he now had a baby. Now, if I'm going to be honest, in all the clips that I found, it didn't seem as though he was as interested as he played it to be. It definitely was a sugar baby situation. They were on this plane and she was doing a little childish game of she threw a stuffed animal at him and he chucked it across the room. Even his face in these Gucci glasses, this was like the moment that they did that. He was so annoyed. I knew that he was just like a sugar baby. Somebody else like, God, I can't stand my sugar daddy, but I'm going to give him a kiss today. You know what I mean? Because I'm young and supple and they're trying to steal my young energy. Let's just be honest. Now, what's interesting about this situation to me is I think that that young man really favors her baby daddy. I think that that became Kim's type, and she's been looking for it ever since. She just found it in a young man, somebody she could probably, or she thought she could, control better. Because if you look at him here, and above is the video that they did together that's posted on Lil Kim's page. But then you look back at her baby dad. Tell me that's not the uncle and the nephew. That's exactly what that gives me. I'm like, they need to check something, because the 23andMe says you are at least the cousin. Well, he's not featuring Kim anymore. He said he did not listen to his lawyer. He signed some bad contracts that was going to make his company 65% hers, even if he blew. So, you know, it was a bad deal to begin with. But now she's not releasing any of his music. I'm going to let him tell his story. Let's watch this recording.
My phone talking about don't do this. Y'all is weird, bro. And all your business partners, all the over here, you talk all the time talking about I'm the problem, I'm the bad investment, all this shit, because I wasn't popping at the time. But I was the one that believed in what you wanted to do. Like, I was the one that was backing your whole vision, bro. All these you listening to was just trying to milk you. Talking about communication, bro. What communication was with me, bro? What communication was with me? Nobody communicated with me. Don't give a about me. Out of here.
Now get ready to pause the video.
I'm not the type of do this, bro.
Of the
bro.
That they worked with.
All I've ever tried to do was feed my people,
so make sure you pause the video.
All I ever tried to do is feed my people and put music out for the world. That's my whole passion. That's all I cared about ever in my whole life, bro. I'm pissed. Bro, she signed me some wrong that she didn't like, that had nothing to do with the music. I never disrespected her. No way in terms of business. I signed the contract. My lawyer told me not to sign the contract. I still signed the contract because I trusted her.
Dummy.
And I was like,
if your lawyer said no, why have a lawyer?
Went wrong. She stopped communicating with me. And then a couple months later, I'm like, okay, well, it ain't gonna stop me from dropping music. I'm an artist. I want to drop music. And then no communication. Now she want to take my music down, bro? Yeah. All she had to do was reach out to me and be like, yo, you shouldn't be dropping music. And then I get my lawyer and we figure out how to end the contract. I didn't give a he had 65% of my care. That's fine. Up one day and I had to order some money. I don't care. I give it to her. I got nothing but love for shorty. That's it. Did I do to anybody, bro? In real life, what we talking about? How is you minding your business? Bro, I'm your artist. How do you mind your business,
it's
bro?
Above them now.
What does that even mean, man? What does that mean? You tell me what we doing. All I'm doing is making music. I'm just making music. What does that even mean? Wait to hit her up about what? Mom, you talking about a grown?
All right, so you guys just heard all of that. And it seems as though that Kim was in her feelings and had feelings for this young man. And it's her fault. She knows better. She's 50 plus years old. Why would you want to be in a committed relationship with a 25-year-old that hasn't probably figured out life? It's clear and evident he hasn't figured out life yet. You expect this man to be committed to you with young women all around this man? I mean, come on, man. You're really asking a lot. You know, it's so creepy for you to be dealing with him anyway, but if y'all smash, just keep it as that. You catching feelings all over the situation, right? And listen, if the young man agreed to be in a relationship with you and things of that nature, yeah, I understand that. He should have been respectful. He should have not cheated or whatever and had a baby on you. But still, you're asking for a lot from a 25-year-old. Now, I will say that it's rather interesting the kind of deal that Kim had with this young man. I don't care if they were in a relationship or not. It was still messed up, right? And it's really funny based off the fact that Kim comes from a situation dealing with Diddy and how Diddy shortchanged all of his artists, that moving forward, when you got your own label, you wouldn't try to do right by your artist. But it is her label. And if she feels disrespected, then drop the man, okay? I guess Kim is of the mindset, yo, you went out and had a baby on me. You're not going to be able to take care of that child off of my back. You're signed to my label. So I believe that's where Kim is coming from in all of this. But still, she's the adult here. I know that he's 25 years old, but she is the adult here. She is considered a senior to him. If we're going to be honest, she should have made a better decision not to get attached to a young man in this way. But anyway, I'm gonna let this go right here. I want you guys to drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about everything that was discussed within this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and if you're new here, consider subbing to the channel. I'll get with you guys later. Yep.